Hello and welcome to the show. We are here on Forza Horizon 4 today with a little bit of a rally tournament. We are going to be running A-class cars around the very dangerous mountain pass road. It kind of loops along the back of this mountain across the top of a very narrow cliff. A big drop if things go wrong. However, the vehicles cannot be all-wheel drive. They must either be front-wheel or rear-wheel drive, and they cannot be swapped. So these are all with their standard drivelines. Engines can be changed and so on, but they are with their standard drivelines. We've got an interesting mix, actually, of some front-wheel drive cars. In fact, we've got two front-wheel drive cars to be starting this. We've got a little Alpine, we've got a Focus, we've got a classic Escort, Monaro. Might have fun around here. Modern Civic against an Nissan 370Z. I am driving the 65 Mustang against massive Chevelle, and we have a Porsche versus a Buick at the back. These are our heats for all of this. 1v1 knockout tournament with the absolutely massive spanner final to get an extra car into the semi-finals, which I don't know how it's going to work on this mountain road. It should be utter chaos. Either way, we are going to get the first round underway. It is a good start for the Hyundai, as I said, battle of the front-wheel drive cars down here. We've got the modern Veloster up against the classic Golf GTI, I think with the wide body kit on, possibly, as we head towards, well, through the speed zone, the start of the speed zone up here. Now, this is where things can go very badly wrong very quickly indeed. There are lots of rocks. There are lots of rocks, and all it takes is the tiniest of clips on the rocks, like the Golf almost managed to do here. Get the car up onto its side and go flying off into the abyss. The Golf was a little faster through all of that, although ran wide, lost a smidge of time. Now it's the Veloster's turn to get in trouble with a clip on the barrier. Big air time for the pair of them. All of these cars are going to be on rally tyres. All of these cars are going to have off-road suspension to survive the bumps and the jumps around here. And I'll be careful not to fly my drone off the edge of the mountain, because otherwise that's going to not be fun trying to recover it. Golf brushes along the wall there. Oh, Golf's in trouble. Oh, stays on the road only just. Gets away with it. The Veloster's now got a nice little bit of a lead up here as we head towards the final section now. The latter stage of this race gets a little bit safer. And I say a little bit safer, it's not all that much. There are still a couple of places where you can end up in all sorts of trouble. It's a little bit wider, a little bit more open, a little bit more opportunity potentially for some overtaking down these final couple of corners. Another jump here. You got to be mindful of the braking zone you got coming up here. Easy to get the car crossed up, easy to go for an explore off the side of the map. The Veloster doesn't. The Golf is still a little bit wide. Golf is just desperately trying to make up time. It's not going to be enough though. It is not going to be enough through this course. Our finish line will be the tarmac there as the Veloster will go through. The Golf, a little unlucky, was running very, very close together with the car ahead, but a small mistake putting it out of position, almost ending up off the cliff. I mean, better than going off the cliff. But, yeah, in the end, Hyundai, that will go through. Up next, we have got an interesting battle, though I have just noticed the tyres on the Alpine. We have the classic Alpine, I assume, to try and keep PI down, have gone with vintage race tyres. Might struggle out here, but I guess we'll have to wait and find out. Up against the Focus here, which is on the rally tyres. It is, well, it's front-wheel drive versus rear-wheel drive. I think the Focus, I would be surprised if the Alpine on those tyres could keep up with the Focus. However, we have been surprised by plenty of cars before. The Alpine may well be faster off the line, we would imagine. Although as soon as we get a little bit of lag going on, there we go. Yeah, the Alpine will probably out-accelerate the Ford. It is going to be very light, and with those tyres have more than enough PI for a bunch of power. However, as soon as we start getting into the twisty stuff, check over cinematic shots, don't bother. As soon as we start getting into the twisty stuff, that Alpine is going to struggle. Now, it will make life difficult for the Ford, or make life difficult for itself. Oh, that nearly went in. That very nearly went over the mountain. That very nearly went for a big swim. The Focus did very well, actually, to squeeze around the outside without ending up being run into the wall there as we head across the big jump. In the end, the grip from the Alpine is just not quite enough for this. The grip from the Alpine is probably not going to be enough. The power's great and all for a little while, but then we're going to have trouble as you head down this bit. The focus from a couple of test runs we did looked mighty fast. That much is for sure. The Alpine's across the top. I wonder if we might see the Alpine go for a bit of a swim across that fast section. Now it will, I mean, the course might open up slightly further down. Oh, Alpine's in the rocks! Alpine's gone. Alpine is gone. It's stuck. It's probably not going to be getting out of there anytime soon. Can it recover? Nope. Nope. That's... I think Alpines are gone. Now I'm going to go try and find where has the focus ended up. Yeah, clipped a rock. That was all it took. One clip on the rock, and that would be the Alpine gone. I think I spotted a flash of a white Ford over here somewhere. There it is. There is our focus. The Colin McRae livery focus will head around the final corner. The Ford will go through. I mean, the Alpine was actually doing a pretty good job in that mid-sector of not losing too much ground to the Ford, but clip it on the rock is all it took. And, well, it didn't tumble all the way down the mountain. It certainly got very, very stuck. Up next, we have got an interesting lineup. Classic Ford Escort taking on the Vauxhall Monaro. Monaro, much heavier, probably twice the weight, possibly anyway, of the Escort, but will have considerably more power. Maybe you can get off the line well here. Maybe you can get to the lead early on and make it very difficult for the Escort to find a way past. We will have to wait and see as we get the cars. It is now starting to pour with rain, which is not the best conditions for this. It's a good start, actually, from the Escort as they will lead their way up the hill. It's a nasty incline, actually, to be starting this event with. But it is a little bit of a gap for the Escort as we head into the twisties. Monaro actually looks pretty good through those corners. Now, you want to run, of course, you want to be making the most of the second. You don't want to run too dangerously to the rock face like that. Oh, Monaro's bounced it and gone. Monaro is down. Monaro just pushed it that fraction too hard. That fraction too hard through one of those corners is all it takes on a stage like this. It isn't over. Let's not forget, while the Escort has got the lead, the Monaro will get reset and can carry on. And, well, even when you're running around on your own, it is possible to get a little bit too brave. It's possible to miss your braking point, get out of shape somewhere, and, well, if the Escort goes tumbling off the edge, again, it will be game on around here, or you can hit these rocks. There's a lot of nasty rocks that can catch the cars. These sort of large black boulders, you will drive through, they'll just cost you a lot of momentum. Hell, it was one of those that actually put the Alpine off the side of the mountain. There are other, well, fixed rocks that you can hit and will just stop your car dead. So you want to be mindful of those. The Escort look quite oversteery around here. I mean, sure, it is raining. We're on some wet gravel. We're likely to see a little bit of sliding around and whatnot. But you don't want too much oversteer. Hey, oh, it's almost overdone. It's almost overcooked. Little bit too much. I say showboat. A little bit too much sliding around there for the Escort. Gets away with it. Hasn't fallen off the mountain. Has got a big enough lead that it doesn't really matter all that much. The Escorts that will take victory. The Monaro was looking pretty good. However, carrying a little bit too much speed. It stands a chance going through a massive spanner final, but yeah, a little bit unlucky for the Monaro. But that's the nature of this course. Things go wrong. They go wrong pretty damn badly. Well, as the rain continues to fall here on Fortune Island, we have got our next two cars ready to go. Battle of the Japanese kind of modern sports cars. Nissan 370Z up against the Civic Type R. And yeah, it's not a particularly pleasant weather conditions. It's not quite a full-on thunderstorm though, as we get this round underway. Actually, a very good start from the front-wheel drive Civic. I was fully expecting the 370Z to blast away early on, but the Civic gets off the line very, very well indeed. Is trying to draw alongside in the end. Can't quite make it work as we come over the hill. A bit of a bump between the pair of them as we head through these first couple of corners. Yeah, there's quite a lot of kind of standing water around here. This is about as slippy outside of, I guess, snow. Oh, the Civic nearly fell off exactly the same place the Monaro got into a lot of trouble. The Civic pretty much hung the rear wheel over the edge there. I mean, the 370 was pretty bloody wide at that corner as well, but the Civic was playing it more dangerous. Yeah, outside of snow, this is about as skiddier conditions, as nasty conditions as you can expect on this road, while rainfall in Horizon 4 is not as effective, doesn't slow the cars down, doesn't make the surface as slippery as it does in some other games. It will still do. Oh, the 370's gone! The Nissan has gone off the mountain. It was leading the way. It looked all in control. It looked okay for the Nissan, but a fraction too much speed. It ran out of grip. Just slowly, gracefully tumbled its way off the side of the mountain. We now have the Civic in control of this race. You can see the Nissan in the background. It's not completely over for the 370. It's not completely over, and there's always a chance that the Civic might make a silly mistake somewhere. This is the last real dangerous corner where things can go badly wrong. The Civic is wise to that one. As we head around the last turn, it is going, oh, well, unless the Civic breaks down or gets lost. That's equally likely by the looks of it. It's the Civic that goes through. The Civic was looking fairly good. Unfortunate for the 370Z. That corner's caught out a couple of cars. The Civic hung its rear wheel off the edge early on. Got away with it. The Nissan couldn't quite in the later stages. Bad luck for the Nissan. Does still stand a chance of going through that spanner final. Looks pretty fearsomely fast. I am up in the next heat. We have got the battle of the classic American cars. The Chevelle up against my classic Mustang. I will be lighter, hopefully better handling. Chevelle will be more powerful, I would imagine. While I have swapped the engine in this, I have the modern Chevy V8 in here. That Chevelle will be considerably more powerful than I am hoping, though, on this tight, twisty, narrow, and quite soggy mountain road. You can see the Chevelle really struggling to get going there. There was a lot of skidding around. We are very even. In fact, this might be the most even launch we have had so far. I'm going to be stuck trying to go a long way round, and I do not want to do that. Not on this road. Not at this stage either. If it comes to it on the grand final and there is an opportunity, I would do it. Well, I say that. We can go out at any point. I don't think it's worth the risk right there. It seems like it's too much danger to do that. Oh, Cooper's up in the barriers. The Chevelle is quick, but doesn't look easy to drive. We've got a good run here. Got nowhere to really go with it, though. I'm going to be a little earlier on the brakes. The Chevelle hit the rock. It got pushed a slight bit wide. I've got the run. We're going to go side by side. This is where the Mustang, I'm hoping the grip can come in. We've done it. We've got an overtake. It's the first actual legitimate overtake on the narrow part of the course. I think this is where the Nissan fell off the course there. Now, don't throw it all away. Now we've got the pass done. It does open up more towards the end of the course, and that's what I'm worried about. The Mustang is likely to be good at the twisty technical part. I'm not sure it's going to be so good when we get to this more open section later on, although we have started pulling away from the Chevelle ever so slightly. Come on, Mustang. I also notice how the Mustang is not sliding around anywhere near as much as we saw from the Escort. Admittedly, very different sort of race that we are doing here. We've got our company a lot closer than the Escort had, but we make our way through these next couple of turns. It's just the acceleration towards the line. Oh, I think the Chevelle might have made a mistake trying to find a way past. The Chevelle will not do it. The Mustang goes through. Oh, and we get the first overtake on the mountain pass. Admittedly, it was safer than some of them. Going around the outside, we stay well clear of the dangerous rock face. Good race. Good race. That was tough work. We made it stick. The Mustang will go through to the next round. So, here we are to the final heat. Two more rear-wheel drive cars. Can we make another classic American vehicle into the quarterfinals? Will we see the Porsche make its way through? Both of these in testing looked bloody fast. This is a nasty heat. This is the heat you wanted to avoid. I certainly wanted to avoid the Buick. So yeah, these two are likely to be very, very quick down here. But we've seen quick cars get into trouble with mistakes. Good start from the Porsche. A little bit slow on the reaction times from the Buick, but it's likely to be considerably more powerful. Again, it's likely to be more powerful than the Porsche. It's likely to be faster down the straight, or on the small bits of straights that we have to deal with. Might be faster accelerating up the hills, but can it carry enough corner speed to battle with the 944 when the going gets twisty? Will it be brave enough to try and overtake on the mountain pass. Will it get an opportunity even? It's not a matter of necessarily being brave enough. It's can you get your car in the right place. The Buick's having a look up the inside. Can't quite make it stick. Of course, you can shove your car in a gap like that, but you don't want to force your opponent off the road. Both getting airtime across there. Plenty of air. It looks more spectacular in drone mode than it does when you're driving down there, that jump. They're very, very close together. Very evenly matched, these two cars. Is going to come down to, does anyone make a slight little mistake, or can anyone be that little bit braver? The Porsche is in a little bit of trouble through there. The Porsche has hugged the inside, clipped the rocks, lost a lot of momentum. They're both going to do very similar things. Again, the Porsche tags the rock, slows down, but is directly in front of the Buick. The Buick's got nowhere to go. It's having a look around. Well, thought about trying to go around the outside. Can't do it. Porsche runs very, very wide. Buick might get a good run on the exit. Still not quite there yet. Still not quite there. He's now trying to go underneath. The Buick's got immense grip through these corners. Is really giving the Porsche some trouble here. Buick's to the inside. Can they get the pass done? They're both in all sorts of trouble through the Porsche is sliding. The Porsche is out towards the fence. It's now the Buick to the inside for the next corner. He can't quite keep it there. It's the run to the finish line. It will be the Porsche that gets it. Porsche takes victory. Buick ran it very, very hard. Either one of those could have got it through that race. Fantastic battle. Those last two heats have been fantastically busy. Cars following one another. Oh, it's so tough to overtake. The Buick had a couple of opportunities where the Porsche got into trouble with rocks a couple of times, but as soon as they hit the rock, it was just directly in front of the Buick. Buick had nowhere to go. The Buick is going to be fearsome, though, come that Spanner final. Either way, the Porsche, that will go through. So, we are on to the quarterfinals. It's the battle of the classic Fords. Quite a lot of Fords have actually made it to this stage. Half the cars here are Fords. I've got, well, to race against the Escorts. It seemed pretty decent in its heat. I'm hoping I might have a little bit more power. I'm hoping I can give it some trouble. I'd like to be able to lead from the off here. Overtaking is difficult and quite scary, but we are not going to get that honour. Nope, the Escort is off to a better start. We should probably have a better secondary phase of acceleration here. It's a beautiful sunset we have going on as we head in towards the first corner. We're going to have to be brave. Now, we are the only one who's actually, only one from the heats who actually got an overtake while on the stage, an actual on-track overtake, and we're going to try and go for another one. Oh, I mean, I gave the Escort a nudge. I'm going to let the Escort go, because we had a rule. If you nudged a car off the course, you had to go and let it past, and I will basically nudge the Escort off the course. So we'll let the Escort go on virtue of, well, firing it off the circuit. Well, not quite. It actually did a very good job of recovering it. But yeah, it's the tough thing. If you go for that dive, you go for an overtake. I don't want to win by pushing another car off the track. We will have to do things the proper way. We'll have to now do things the slightly tougher way. I think I've got the car to do this. I think the Mustang's got the speed. Oh, I am across the inside, which I did not want to be doing with this Mustang. Now, where are we going to find a way past? Where are we going to find a way past? I'm trying to duck underneath. I think I've got the grip to do it. The Escort's just got the acceleration on us again. Come on, Mustang. Come on, Mustang. We can do this. We can do this. We can do this. I don't know where, because the Escort starts sliding here. We get a really big slide on the inside. It is going to be a real battle to make this one work. We're going to have to try and do things the brave way. Come on, Mustang. It's done it around the outside. We have got it. The Escort's trying to get the drive towards the finish line. We're both side by side. I think the Escort got it. I think the Escort might have got it to the line. I think it was just a nose ahead. I think he was just a nose ahead. That was a brutal final run to the line. A lot of paint swapped between our cars. I think the Escort took it. What a race. What a race indeed. Well, here we are hoping to, well, kind of hoping anyway, to see another Ford into the semi-finals. Seeing as I'm driving a Ford, we're going to be supporting Fords. But we have got the Focus going up against the Porsche. Can we have our first front-wheel drive car making it through to the next round? We will have to find out. I've gone the wrong way on the drone thing. Go away. We don't want that. Go! Good luck to both of them. Again, we're likely to see a much better start for the rear-wheel drive car. We saw the Civic do very, very well launching for its front-wheel drive, but yeah, out of these two, the Porsche has definitely got the launch. However, the Focus, we've seen very quick through these corners. The Focus is able to carry a lot of speed through these turns, so it may well be able to reel that gap back in. It may well be able to give the Porsche trouble, especially if the 944 is going to hit those little mounds, those little rocks, and go up onto two wheels. It's not what you want to be doing. It's sliding from both of them. Some kind of just there's almost a neutral steer wide from the Focus in all of that. The gap's staying pretty similar as they're both pushing hard down the mountain pass here. Where is the Focus? If it's going to find a way past, it's going to probably want to do it on the twisty bits almost. It doesn't want to have to leave it until the later sections. We're running across the inside, picking up a couple of the rocks. The Porsche's again out wide. That's twice now. That's twice the 944's been in trouble on that same section, and that has closed the gap drastically. Will the Focus be able to do what I couldn't do through these final bits, is trying to get underneath. It might have got there, not quite. Porsche are going to keep that door shut. It is not quite able to do it. Some oversteer from the rear-wheel drive car. They're now going for the paint swapping down this next section. Still not completed. The Porsche is going to run in very deep and run wide on the exit. This is the Focus's opportunity. This is where the Focus might just be able to do it. It's almost exactly the same as our race last time out. This time, though, it's the car on the outside that does it. The Porsche will take victory. Another excellently fought battle right there. The 944, that will be through to the next round. The Focus is out. Well, not quite. He'll go into the Spanner final. Christ, that's going to be mad. Our next quarterfinal, we have got the Civic Type R up against the Veloster, two modern front-wheel drive hot hatches. We will have a front-wheel drive in the semi-finals, guaranteed between these two. The Civic got a little bit lucky when its rival in the first heat fell off. The Veloster looked fairly good. The Civic gets a very, very good launch. Actually, more even than I thought. I was expecting the Civic to get away. Both absolutely neck and neck as we head over the hill for the first time up towards the speed trap. Is the Veloster going to yield? No, it will go all the way around the outside. Nice manoeuvre, nice positioning. The Civic's going to cut back underneath, and the Civic will maybe get this position. Yes, it does, although that's the second time he's pushed his luck around there. The Civic's got off that time around, not able to keep it on the mountain. A little bit too much side-by-side going on there for the, for the Civic in the end. Couldn't quite get away with hanging a wheel over the edge and carrying on that time around. Again, it has got reset, and if anything should happen to the Veloster, silly mistakes, caught on the rocks, etc., there might be a chance for the Civic. It does look like we might see. I mean, it was a very, very good first few corners. It was a very exciting first few corners, and then a little bit too much side by side, a little bit, asking a little bit too much of the cars. And you really don't want to be going. It's so risky going too wide around here. It's so tough finding a way to make a pass stick, and yeah, a little too much speed can see you or both of you sometimes off the side of the mountain. But that's the fun of racing along here. That's why I love this road. It is the ultimate bravery test, the ultimate risk versus reward. You can make up a lot of speed, you can make up a lot of time if you really go for it, but you run that huge risk. Massive slides from the Veloster through there as we see the brakes very briefly glow incredibly hot, but not for all that much time. That will be a victory for the Hyundai. The Veloster will go through to the next round. The Civic has a small chance. As I said, it's going to be one hell of a busy Spanner final. Well, here is the Spanner final. It is on the grid. It is... I don't think it's going to work very well, but this is what FailRace is all about, trying to make really silly ideas work. We have got 9 cars trying to fit their way down the mountain road. You know the road that's not really big enough for 2 cars? Yeah, we've got 9 taking on this road. The winner of the Spanner final will go into the semi-finals. We'll have a chance at winning the tournament overall. My best bet is to hope we can get a good launch, and then some cars fall off the road. We haven't got the best of start positions. We get a big slide in the door of the Chevelle. Right, so starts. We know the Alpines had lag or controller-related issues. We are 3 wide on the mountain road. I've been bopped a little bit wide. I think this might be the Buick's race to lose now, pretty much. The Buick's had an absolutely blinder of a start. Is the Buick's race to lose? I've gone over. I'm done. We're falling in. I followed the bloody Buick. It was absolutely the Buick's race to lose, and I was following it in the amount of speed we could take, and there was nowhere near as much grip in my car. I think it's the Golf that has got its way to the front. I don't know what happened to the Alpine. I think there was a controller issue on that. Possibly, just by the way it got paused, I would presume controller or something. The Golf has got a massive, massive lead up at the front. There's a big group of cars, so a few cars have definitely gone off. That's another one. Another one bites dust. That's a terrible place to get respawned in front of me. This one here has all gone silly, horrible, badly wrong for me. We're going to clip a rock. That's going to cost us a bunch of time. I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed at myself. I'm very annoyed at myself. And now I'm overdriving the car massively. It looks like the Buick has got so much speed around here. But it was in a tough quarter-final, and that mistake is going to be costly. We can see the Golf up at the front. Looks like there's a great battle over second place in this. The Monaro is actually up in that second place fight. It is the Monaro, the Buick, and something else that I can't quite see going on down there. It is the Golf that goes through. Chevelle gets second. I think the Monaro gets third ahead of the Buick. I'm an idiot who is out. All of this one, sadly, has the Civic. The Focus, I think the Focus was unlucky. The Focus is always going to have trouble because it's a very grippy car, but can't get off the line well enough at the start and just gets stuck in traffic. And obviously fell off the cliff at some point. The Nissan we saw fall off the cliff and got reset. It could have been mine. It could have been mine because we were in a very good position and I did a very dumb thing. And there we go. I'm out. It will be the Volkswagen that progresses from the Spanner final. Well, with the rain starting to fall once more, we have the first of our semi-finals. The classic Escort is up against the Veloster. The battle of rear-wheel drive, front-wheel drive will begin once more. Monaro is managing to roll forward. Who forgot the handbrake? That very much looks like someone forgot the handbrake, doesn't it? Right, shall we? Shall we begin? Shall we see what on earth is going to happen? We're doing the shuffling now to try and get the cars even, because somebody shunted by accident. Right. Let's begin the race. Let's see what happens. Again, we would expect to see that Escort get some good starts. We've seen in race against my Mustang, the Escort was very, very quick accelerating out of the corners, but it won't have the most grip. It's quite oversteery. So the Veloster might be able to use that to their advantage around here. It probably won't happen in this early stage, but it's later on around the course. And you can see the amount of gain the Veloster has got through these turns. The Escort, Hyundai very close to the edge. I thought the Escort was a little bit wide, but no, the Veloster pushing it that little bit harder, almost ran a wheel over the edge. This again, it's the Escort. Big slides from the Ford. The Veloster's still there having a look. They jump over there. Both cars, close to that cobblestone wall on the outside. The Veloster's getting brave here. It's around the outside. Can they out-accelerate the Escort up the hill? They're trading paint at what is a good amount of speed on a very, very narrow path. And it is the Veloster. It's a lovely overtake from the Hyundai to get that past there, to get to the lead. And now it can potentially extend that a little bit through these next couple of corners. If it can stay out of the way of the, well, let's say if it can get far enough ahead from the Escort so that it can't get out accelerated towards the line, I don't think the Ford's got much of an answer. Will we have our first front-wheel drive car into the final as we head around, well, the final couple of hairpins, if you like. Almost crashed the drone, just about got away with it. It's another jump. The Escort's in trouble. I think the Ford is not great at this final section. We saw that up against my Mustang, and with the Veloster already ahead, I think it's just asking too much. The Escort's slipping and sliding all over the place, unless the Veloster Veloster breaks down, it looks like it is going to be the Hyundai that will take victory. Hyundai is through to the final. There goes the Escort. Bit of a valiant fight. Bit of a very good fight. It was a hell of a pass from the Hyundai to make that one work, to get to the lead. You need to do it. You've got to be brave around this circuit. You've got to be brave, and you've got to get that pass timed absolutely right. The Veloster did, and the Hyundai is into the final. Well, it is all getting quite dramatic here for the second of our semi-finals. Battle of the German cars. The Porsche 944 is going up against the Golf. That's some impressive lightning going on here. Now, the Golf, of course, won the Spanner final, which was certainly not easy, although I think this is going to be a tough heat, or a tough round. The Porsche looked very, very fast, and while it might be susceptible a little bit with its, well, I say straight line speed, lack of maybe straight line speed, and a little bit of acceleration-wise, it does look very, very good through the corners. And of course, that rear-wheel drive traction off the line is going to be helpful. I would imagine the Porsche is going to get to the first corner first, but the Volkswagen not that far behind. The Volkswagen not that slow whatsoever here. No rain going on with this thunderstorm, or lightning storm, I should say, which is a little bit peculiar, but there we have quite bright sunshine and the occasional lightning strike. Sure, we got the Golf running a little wide up over the hill, and that's not what the Volkswagen is going to want particularly. What the Volkswagen really wants to be seeing is the Porsche in trouble, and if anything, the 944 looks relatively calm around here. The Golf perhaps a little more ragged in a couple of places. Up towards the first of the jumps, I think maybe there's just the first spits of rain are now starting to fall. That might work slightly more in favour of the Volkswagen, although I'm not really sure whether it's going, what drive line that is going to favour, what car it is going to favour. This is where I think the bravery is going to have to come in for the Golf. It is going to become a matter of, well, it's going to be a do or die, basically. Needs to find a way to make up some time through here. The Porsche has hit the same rock once more, and that's what the Golf needed. That's maybe half an opportunity. It's closer than it would have been. The 944 is quite wide through there. Now, there is space over there. There's not rocks over there, but you will be slow on the exit of the corner. The Golf is here again, having a little bit of a sniff. Not really far enough alongside. Not far enough. Not close enough to the Porsche to have a big dive. This is probably your last best opportunity. The 944 doesn't run too wide here, which is quite, it's in the fence. It is quite wide. That's really not what the 944 wanted to do. Here we go. Out of the final corner. The drag race to the line. They bump, but it is going to go the way of the Porsche. The 944 will take victory. The Golf tried, and I'll tell you what, the Golf got closer than you might have expected. Again, same rock. At least twice now, I don't remember if it's 3 times in a row, has got that 944 and causes it all sorts of trouble, puts it under a lot of pressure when it comes to the latter stages of that. The Volkswagen tried, but in the end couldn't quite do it. So, we have our final. Well, it might continue to be a dreary day here on Fortune Island, but we have got our final, the Hyundai Veloster up against the Porsche 944. Perhaps not the 2 finalists you would have picked at the start, however, should be an interesting matchup. The Velosters proved to be very, very fast through some of the corners. Of course, the Porsche is likely to lead from the off, which means the Hyundai is going to have to find a way past, which is much easier said than done. Around here, much easier said than done. However, the Veloster has done it. It's one of the very few cars to have actually got a pass completed around here that didn't involve somebody falling off the mountain. So, maybe that Hyundai can find a way past. As expected, really, the Porsche will lead the early stages. The Veloster is a little bit wide through there, although we saw the Golf do a similar thing. Porsche is not even hitting the sides. Everyone playing quite sensibly through that section. That's what you need to do. You can't afford to take a visit. You can't afford to take a trip off the side of the mountain. The Veloster kind of reeling in that little bit of the early margin. I'm not quite sure where the Veloster is going to try and find a pass. I mean, if it can be in the right position for the 944's favourite rock, that would be a good chance to get an overtake done. At the moment, it's a little bit of a waiting game. You don't want to do anything too rash and risk running yourself off the road, but you need to be in the right place to pounce at any opportunity. This is where things have gone wrong the last couple of times for the 944. A little too fast on the way in, doesn't hit the rock on the way out. Still not as good on the way out. And again, here comes that Veloster. Is it going to be able to find a way past through these next couple of corners? It's going to have to be brave somewhere. thinks about going to the inside. Can't quite do it. It's not close enough to get a pass done there. And when you start taking these wonky lines, you're going to slow yourself down as well. This is the next big opportunity we have got coming up here. Porsche is wise to what happened last time. Still a little wide on the exit. Still quite a lot wider than I thought. Here comes the Veloster. Is to the inside. Now the drag race towards the finish line. Porsche versus Hyundai down here. The Porsche has done it. The Porsche will get the run and the 944 will take victory. The Hyundai led briefly. Same corner. Very similar to the run with the Golf. The Porsche just couldn't quite get turned in. Ran out wide. Importantly, didn't hit the fence. Had that hit the fence, I think that would have been game to the Hyundai. Importantly, it didn't hit the fence. It was slow on the exit. The Veloster made the most of the opportunity. The 944 had just a little bit too much speed, though. On the run, down the hill, and you have your victor. You have your victor. The 944 will win what has been an excellent fun tournament. Some very exciting racing on a very, very tricky and very dangerous road. I'm a little bit disappointed about my Mustang, wherever the hell that is. I left it, I abandoned it somewhere. It's dead to me. No, where's it gone? Somewhere over here. Yeah, oh no, I left it over the side of the mountain because we're trying to stop cars from despawning with the drone mode, because that's fun. A little bit disappointed about my Mustang. I don't think I could have beaten the 944. I don't think I could have beaten the Veloster, really. I got a little bit unlucky, but that is the way it goes sometimes with these. It is, yeah, always fun. It's a fantastic road. I love that mountain pass. It is a seriously, seriously dangerous road to race down, but very good fun. So there we have it. We have it. You want an A-class car to run across the top of some cliffs as fast as possible in some quite interesting weather conditions. The 944 is the car to go for. Though the front-wheel drive cards actually put up a really good showing as well with this. That, though, is going to be it for this video. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.